Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Kat's Garden, Kitchen, and More. I wanted to come to you to show you how I make my homemade yellow mustard. Very simple, it's just a handful of ingredients. So what we're going to do is I've got a half a cup of ground mustard here. You can do mustard seed and just grind that up. I like a creamier, smoother mustard, but there are some that like to have the texture be a little bit, what would the right word be, chunkier. So to each their own. You could grind it up in your blender. I've done that before. And then we're going to also put in 3/4 of a cup of warm or room temperature water. Depending on how spicy you like your mustard will depend on the temperature of your water. The colder your mustard, the spicier the mustard. The warmer your mustard, the less spicy your mustard is. It's just a chemical reaction depending on the heat temperature of your mustard. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to whisk it together in my pan here. I have my recipe sitting right next to me. So if you see me turn, it's because I'm looking at my recipe. I don't exactly have it memorized, even though I've made it a half a dozen times. But part of that is just me and my mental ability to memorize. Then we're going to put in 1/4 cup of distilled white vinegar. And whisk that together. And then I've got some spices here. I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric. Turmeric is super healthy for you, so I like putting it in a lot of things, but it also gives the mustard a good color. I'm gonna mix that in. Now at this point, you might think, okay, this looks a little bit on the runny side. I don't know if you can see down in there very well. Let me lift you up and show you. But what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the heat on the stove and heat it up, and it will thicken as it heats up. I just want to let you know before we go over there that if you want, you can add in a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 a teaspoon of paprika, or if you like lots of heat, do 1/4 a teaspoon of cayenne powder, and 1/4 a teaspoon of onion powder if you choose. Today we're just doing a basic recipe. So let's head on over to the stove and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so we're here at my stove, heating it up. You want to bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you will turn it down to medium-low and let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, or depending on how thick you'd like it. So I just turned on the heat. It'll be a few minutes before it starts boiling, and we'll go from there. Okay, so it is coming to a boil. So now I need to turn my heat down to medium-low and let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. Stirring occasionally. I don't need the whisk anymore because I've already got all the clumps and stuff out of it. So I'm just going to grab a spoon and I'm just going to stir it from time to time. As you can see, it is starting to thicken up. It's a lot thicker than when I was sitting over at the table. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and I'm liking the thickness of this. It will continue to thicken as it sits in the refrigerator. I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator for probably anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then we will jar it up and process it. So let's get this in the refrigerator, and then I will be back to show you how I process it. Alright guys, so I've got 3 jars of that homemade mustard. If you want more than that, because that's what one recipe makes, you can double or triple it. But I just make it as I need it. So I basically put it in the water bath canner and I let it process for 15 minutes. And then pulled them out. So I hope you guys like this. Please hit the thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't. If you've been to my channel before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome as well. And hit the bell notification so you're notified of any upcoming videos. Bye, my friends.